So let's talk about perfection. What is perfection after all? Well, to me, perfection is the absence of any flaws, like you get in a perfect diamond or in the perfect gymnastics routine. But let me tell you something from the outset. This video isn't going to be perfect. None of my previous videos were perfect, and I can promise you that none of my future videos will be perfect either. So where do we go from here? You see, to make this perfect YouTube video is, number one, it's subjective. So my concept of what is perfect may not necessarily be the same as your concept of perfection. And if I was to try and make this video as perfect as possible, the first thing I would do is get rid of all those kitchen appliances behind me. You know, got knives everywhere, the kids' lunches tomorrow, the air fryer. I'll probably go and get my expensive camera with a really expensive lens, stick it on a tripod, get some artificial lighting going on. I'd turn off the refrigerator that's behind me because that's making that humming noise, and I'm sure that you can hear it in the background. In fact, this humming noise seems to be much louder than it normally is, and it's irritating me. So anyway, as I always say, this video is not aimed to be perfect. As a beginner or an early YouTube content creator, if you spend all your time striving for perfection, I tell you there's one thing and only one thing that's going to happen. You're never going to put out any videos because you're going to spend so much time trying to perfect it that nothing's ever going to go out. You see, being perfect in a YouTube video, which does not exist by the way, would involve you spending hours writing and drafting a script, perhaps even getting makeup done, getting all the background perfect, getting the light perfect, getting the focus perfect, getting the sound perfect. And I can tell you from my experience, if I had to spend an hour or two to set up every time I was going to film a 10 or 15 minute video, I would never have made any videos because what a hassle that would be. And as a perfectionist, you run up against one of the biggest obstacles, which is going to mess with your mind real soon. And that is, in reality, most of your audience is not going to notice all these little subtle bits of perfection that you've put in unless you tell them. Do you know, like when you sit in an exam, it's not really hard to get 50%, it's not really hard to get 70%, but to get 99%, you have to devote a disproportionate amount of time because that last 1% or the last 2% is really hard to get. So if you're a beginner YouTuber and you're struggling to get the content out on a consistent basis, you don't want to be spending hours and hours editing every single video trying to get everything perfect, because that's going to slow down your workflow so much that eventually you're going to say, screw this, I've had enough, I don't have time, I cannot be bothered. And realistically, no one cares how perfect your video is. All you need, in my opinion, that's my opinion only, is that to make a watchable video, you need to make sure that the audio is decent, even with the refrigerator humming in the background. And you've just got to make it so that the footage is in focus and steady so people don't get motion sickness when they watch. And if you can fulfill both of those things, I don't think it makes a major difference what the other elements are, because people in general aren't going to notice. And even if they do, they're probably not really going to care as long as your content is good. You see, I keep harping on this point because I just want to get this through in as many ways as possible. When it comes to YouTube, content is king. People watch you because they're interested either because you're funny, you're educational, or you're informative. People don't watch you to see how good your cinematic quality is. There are specific scenarios, obviously, that they do, but if they wanted to watch something really cinematic, they go watch Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. They don't come to watch your 5-minute YouTube videos. Unless they're in the market for some super duper camera and they want to see how high quality they can make it. And realistically, those cinematic pieces of footage, it's really hard to replicate for the normal average person who wants to buy a camera in the first place. So the key to a successful YouTube channel is to be able to make consistent content, and the only way to do that is not to spend hours upon hours upon hours trying to perfect every single video, because you're never going to end up making more than one video every month because it takes so darn long to get everything theoretically perfect, and it's never going to be the case. So there it is. Perfection is the enemy to creation. And the quicker you realize that, the quicker you're going to be able to proceed with making more videos, and the quicker you're going to be able to grow your channel, because you're going to be able to concentrate on the content rather than the production values. So please trust me on this one, because if it's anything I know about making content and being an artist in photography and video, is that you've just got to be comfortable with the mindset. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you have to be comfortable, especially when you're trying to make lots of videos or take lots of pictures, that near enough is good enough. Perfection does not exist, and it's so subjective that we spend too much of our time trying to pursue this ideological concept of perfection and we actually get lost in the creation of the video rather than the content, and no one's going to care. And let me just repeat, I know that I say this stuff a lot and you're probably thinking, why is this dude saying the same thing every single video? Because it's the truth. I've learned from personal experience in my 2 or so years as a YouTube content creator that there are things that are really important and there are things that doesn't matter. And there are things that you do and you spend a disproportionate amount of time on that does not affect your views. It does not affect your engagement. It doesn't affect the number of subscribers you may get. And I'm here to try and pass on the benefit of my experience and the mistakes I've made and the time that I've wasted over the last couple of years when I could have been spending that time doing something else, something more productive and something more useful. So there it is. That's the end of the video. My name is Derek and I'm making these videos so that I can help you improve your YouTube creation workflow and to help make things just easier and more fun in general. So if you like my videos and you like the series, I'd invite you to leave a comment below and tell me how you're going and how you overcome this desire or this need to create perfection. And whilst you're there, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I'll see you next time. Have a great night. I'm going to go play some Zelda now. Bye.